What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Cory, and this is going to be your daily stock market technical analysis update. We saw stocks go up across the board today, and we're still forming new all-time highs. First up, we'll take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, so on the S&P 500, we had a dip right back down to the 5 EMA in the top of that gap at 364 today, and we closed higher on the day, going up 0.21%. So the S&P 500 formed another new all-time high on closing prices. So we still have this extremely bullish price action closing over that 5 EMA, and the trend is just getting stronger and stronger. You can see the 20 simple moving average is sloping so positively to the upside that it's actually closing the gap from the 13 EMA. So the market is definitely picking up momentum, and this bullish trend is just getting stronger. So with the bullish trend and the bullish price action, we look to our price target above, and our price target above is still $377 on the SPY ETF. We could still get a dip all the way back to the gap and our support level at 363 and 62 and still find support and head back into this bullish trend. So the trend is our friend, and we have a strong bullish trend, so we don't want to go against the grain, and we don't want to try to guess where the top's going to be. Again, with bullish price action and bullish trending, there's no reason to be a bear. If you're bearish because the stock market's going to new all-time highs, just go to cash and wait it out. Don't try to short a market that is this strong because you're just going to get burned. The stock market could continue to head much higher because we're now trading above a very important resistance trend line, and that means the stock market is going into a bull market. So the market is likely to continue to grind higher towards our price target at 377, and if we start getting a dip, look for support at the 5 EMA, the close of the gap at 363, and our previous support level at 362.7. If for some reason we do start selling off and close below 362, we could still find support at the 13 EMA and the gap close at 358. On the Nasdaq 100 Triple Qs ETF, we also closed to a new all-time high, and we went up 0.13%. You can see we did close above the upper Bollinger Band, which is extremely bullish that we're getting price action that aggressively to the upside, and we're still way above that 5 EMA. You can actually see the short-term bull trend is getting stronger and picking up momentum because that 5 EMA is starting to create separation from the 13. You can also see the 20 simple moving average is closing the gap from the 13, so we're getting a stronger medium-term bull trend as well. So extremely bullish price action and extremely bullish trending on the Nasdaq 100 as well. We did close the gap on the Nasdaq 100 with a little flash dip, and we did find support right at that gap and the 5 EMA. So I'm going to continue to watch that 5 EMA level for possible support, and also watch the previous price target of $300, which could also act as support. If we start closing below the 5 EMA, we could find support at the 13 EMA or our previous resistance level, which is newfound support at $295. Now that we've broken above $300, my next price target is above at $312, and that's only about 3% away before we hit that price target. So it's definitely within striking distance, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us get there in the next couple of weeks. On the Dow Jones DIA ETF, we're still not forming new all-time highs yet, but we did get a bullish price action close above the 5 EMA today. We also still have a strong bullish trend on the Dow Jones as well. So it does look like the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 are looking stronger than the Dow, and that's to be expected because all of that money was rotating into industrials and other sectors during the vaccine news, but now that that rotation's over, we're gonna start seeing tech lead the way again. So the S&P 500 has a lot of tech in it, and it's going to start heading higher than the Dow because the tech sector is likely going to lead the way in this next bull run. So on the Dow Jones, watch for it to break and close to a new all-time high above $300, and then we will have new all-time highs on all three indices, which is always a sign of a bull market, and we're going to continue to just keep grinding higher. On the VIX, which is our fear indicator, we did go up 1.93% today, which is a little weird because the VIX usually goes down when the stock market goes up. But it's actually not that weird if you think about it because the VIX is a measure of fear, and fear is usually measured by how many people are buying puts. So with the S&P 500 going to new all-time highs day after day, it's not that surprising to see some people buying puts as insurance in case we start selling off. So yeah, the VIX going up is a slight concern that we need to watch, but it's really not that weird considering we're closing at new all-time highs. So I am watching the VIX. It's still below our support level at 21.3. And it does make sense that the VIX would go up at new all-time highs because people are likely hedging with puts. So we'll keep an eye on it, but right now you can see the VIX is still heading lower and it's in that bearish trend, and we're continuing to head lower on the VIX, which means fear is continuing to leave this market. With a low fear market, we're just going to keep grinding higher and higher to new all-time highs. Next up is the US dollar, and we're still heading lower on the dollar, and we're actually heading so low that it looks like we're starting to go parabolic to the downside. We're way below the lower Bollinger Band and we're trading way below the 5 EMA, and you can see how strong the bearish trend is with all of the moving averages sloping to the negative side. So this is the same pattern we saw on gold before gold had that huge bounce. So it could be possible that the dollar is about to find a bottom very soon. So a weak dollar is a strong stock market, and if we start to see the dollar bounces, we probably could expect to see a little bit of a pullback in the stock market. So we'll keep an eye on the dollar, but it is looking like it's heading to another leg lower, and we're going to be looking for it to find a bottom soon. A weak dollar means strong gold, and we are seeing gold follow through today, remembering that its job is to go up when the dollar goes down, and we had another bullish day on gold. So it looks like gold closed up just above the 13 EMA. So we have 2 closes above the 5 EMA, and now we have 1 close above the 13 EMA. And you can see it looks like gold had that parabolic drop where gold was capitulating and everybody was getting out of gold. And now we're starting to see gold go back into a possible bull market. So I'm still bullish on gold all the way up to our resistance level at 1860. And when gold gets to 1860, we're going to see if we're going to blast right through that level or if we're going to start cooling off, and that is going to be a resistance level for the short term. So my price target on gold is 1860, and watch for support down here at 1809. Next up is silver, and we see the same exact thing with silver continuing that uptrend with today's price action, and we did close above all the moving averages. So I'm looking for silver to start heading back up to the resistance level at $25. On Bitcoin, we ended the month of November hitting my price target at 19.6, and you could see that we pulled back sharply after doing so. Now keep in mind the Bitcoin bulls are still fully in control because the price action is still above the 5 EMA and we still have that bullish trend. The 5 EMA never actually crossed under the 13 EMA, so even the short-term bull trend is still intact. Now the Bitcoin bulls are gonna have to prove themselves and blast through this price target at 19.6, or we're likely gonna start heading down into a consolidation correction period. If the bulls break through my price target, my next price target above is $21,200. If we don't break through resistance and we start heading lower, we could find support at $17,000 or the 50 EMA, which is going to be somewhere around $16,000 at the time. If Bitcoin heads into a flash crash, we could come all the way down to $13,000 or $12,500. So there's a lot to pay attention to on Bitcoin right now, and remember that Bitcoin could go through a flash crash and it could be a huge sell-off at any moment. So if you're chasing Bitcoin, this isn't necessarily the best time to be chasing something that's about to go to new all-time highs, and we know it could be extremely volatile. Next up is Amazon stock, and it's still looking really good, closing above all of the moving averages, so we have that bullish price action. We bounced off support and we've been running ever since, and my price target on Amazon remains up here at $3,400. Look for Amazon to continue this run up, and we're likely going to see that price target very quickly because we are going into the Santa Claus rally, and Amazon does really well in Q4. On Apple stock, Apple did get that breakout over 120, and remember, over 120, we're very bullish on Apple. So if Apple does start dipping, I would be a buyer at the 5 EMA or at the 120 support level. My price target on Apple in the near term is $124, and if we break above 124, my price target on Apple is way up here at $136. So Apple's looking really bullish, and it is a market moving stock. So if Apple's heading into a bull run, you could figure out the rest on what the stock market is likely to continue to do. On the financial sector, we got bullish price action and we still have that strong bullish trend. On industrials, the price action's still looking good, holding up above the 13, and we still have that really strong bullish trend. And on the healthcare sector, we're seeing bullish price action follow through. We're above all the moving averages and we can see the bullish trend picking up momentum. So to summarize, you can see across the board, all of the sectors are bullish. They have bullish price action, bullish trending, and we see the VIX is still at the lower fear levels. So we're likely to just see the stock market continue to grind higher. My price target is about 2 to 3% higher, so we are getting close to my price targets, and we could start to see a correction in the stock market once we get there. But right now in the near term, everything's looking bullish, and we're likely just going to keep grinding higher day after day until we start getting into those higher prices. Remember, there's no reason to be bearish. I would hate to see you trying to short this market and trying to call a top right now. If you're bearish, just go to cash and wait it out. Whew, do you guys feel that? It feels like it's getting really hot in here. Alright, first hot stock of the day is going to be Tesla. Remember, Tesla's number to watch is this 587 level, which is going to be so critical. The bulls have to close above 587 if we're going to see price target of 650. So jumping over to the 1 hour chart on Tesla, you can see we're in this little bit of a consolidation wedge, and we always want to see if we're going to break to the bull side or the bear side. Unfortunately for the bulls, we did break out of that wedge to the downside, and we're failing to close above these moving averages ever since we broke out of that wedge. So going back to the daily chart, you can see how strong this 587 price target is, and it's acting as a really strong resistance because we failed to close above that level for 4 attempts in a row now. So we need to close above 587 if you're a Tesla bull. Otherwise, we're going to start retracing, and it means we're likely going down into that correction, which could bring us all the way back down to price targets of 460 on Tesla. However, if the Tesla bulls can break above 587, it is possible that we're going to get to 650 in a flash. We still got the S&P 500 inclusion where it could still be a lot of buying, but don't just assume that means that Tesla has to go higher, because I can guarantee you, you're not the only person out there who thinks Tesla is going to go higher. Therefore, it's easily priced in ahead of time, so don't be surprised if Tesla does exactly the opposite of what you expect. Next up is Palantir stock, or as we're calling it, the Palantir stock, because it keeps taking a dump, and we did get down to our $21 price target. So watch for 21, because if it breaks down, we're going to get to 18. Now, once we get to 18, I would probably buy this stock. It is a FOMO stock, and there is a lot of dumb money in this stock, but it's also a hot stock for a reason, and it can go parabolic at the drop of a hat. So if Palantir starts bouncing off at 21, it is a good buy, or if it breaks down and starts bouncing off at 18, it's also a good buy. But again, this is a falling knife situation, and you don't want to just try to catch the knife, because it's going to cut you really bad if you're wrong. So just be patient and wait for the consolidation, and let's find out which one of these price targets is going to ultimately act as support. It shouldn't be long to find out which one of these levels is going to be support because of this parabolic move to the downside, which is exactly the opposite of the parabolic move to the upside. So that should be a lesson learned if you FOMO'd into Palantir. That's why you don't FOMO into stocks as they go higher and higher and higher. If you miss the boat, just wait for the next ship. Next up is NIO stock. So if you're following up with me on hot stocks and you're paying attention to what I'm saying on NIO, I do think that NIO is topping out at wave 3 and it's likely going into corrective wave 4. So NIO did break out of this consolidation wedge just like Tesla did, and you can see that we're failing to get back into that level. We did get a really nice bounce on NIO, and if you're in the Stocks Channel Discord, we caught this trade at the open and rode it all the way up to $44 for a quick 40% gain in 30 minutes. If you're interested in trading with the Stocks Channel, you can find out how to join the Stocks Channel Discord in the link of the description of this video. Like I said, NIO was a great trade, but that doesn't mean it's just going to continue going higher. You can see on the 1 hour chart we have lower highs and lower lows, so we're still in that downtrend. And going to my daily analysis, you can see I am expecting a wave 4. Now remember, my price targets were $46, $41, and $39. So we got a little bit below $39 in the morning and we started that bounce. However, one day doesn't set a trend, and just because we bounced today doesn't mean that wave 4 is just going to end just like that. Looking at the 1 hour chart, you can see we did have to break above that $48 level. So we're still not quite out of the woods yet on NIO, and we could still see more downside and more consolidation before we continue higher. So NIO is a hot stock and it could go parabolic at the drop of a hat, but you don't want to just assume it's going higher after a few days of selling, especially after we got a little bit of a bounce today. We could see more selling tomorrow. So be patient on these hot stocks that have already gone parabolic. You don't want to chase something you missed out on. Just wait for the next opportunity, because there's opportunities everywhere you look in the stock market. Like our next hot stock, Nvidia. Check out Nvidia. It's already bouncing off of support, and today it closed higher and formed a daily higher high. This is a way better setup than chasing a FOMO stock that already went parabolic. If we zoom out on Nvidia, you can see it's in a really nice consolidation and it's getting ready to run. So pay attention to hot stocks like this that still have more upside, and stop chasing the ones that have already gone parabolic and you missed out on. So on Nvidia, our price target is up here at 570, and if we break 570, my next price target is way up here at 620. So there's still a lot of juice left in Nvidia, and it's just now starting to run, and we're just now starting to see that daily higher high forming. As we're bouncing off support, this is a great opportunity to start scaling into an Nvidia trade. Our next hot stock is Twilio stock, and Twilio had an absolute monster bounce intraday. Remember, this is a stock that I'm very bullish on, and you can see intraday we were trading below the 13 EMA, and we actually bounced higher and closed 2% higher for the day. So everybody bought the dip on this stock, and they came in a huge way, and the bulls are ready to drive Twilio stock much higher. So my price target on Twilio in the near term is $338, and once we blast through 338, we're likely heading way up here at 373. So Twilio stock is a great hot stock, and it's likely to be a runner, and it's gonna start heading higher soon. The next hot stock is DraftKings stock, and DraftKings also looked really good today, because you can see intraday we were trading down at the 13 EMA, but we closed higher above the 5 EMA for the day. If that's not bullish price action, buying up the dip, I don't know what is, and my price target on DraftKings remains at $54. So there's still a lot of juice left in the tank on DraftKings, and we can still go about 10% higher, and we could even close above 54 and start running to 60. So DraftKings is looking good, and it's absolutely a hot stock, because you can see the 20 simple moving average is now crossing above the 50. So the bullish momentum is picking up and the trend is gonna start pushing the prices higher on DraftKings very soon. Our next hot stock is Boeing, and we did see Boeing get that slight correction pull back to the 5 EMA, and we got a huge bounce today going up over 5% on Boeing. So Boeing's taking flight and it's getting ready to take off for another leg higher, and it did break above our resistance trend line at 222. So it looks like Boeing's heading to 230, and once Boeing breaks over 230, it's heading to the next price target of $260. You could see Boeing has bullish price action and a really strong bullish trend. So this is a stock that looks like it's gonna remain a hot stock and it's gonna be a high flyer. Next up is UPS stock, and UPS stock had the ultimate test today, coming back down to the support trend line and the 20 simple moving average, and it passed the test because we closed all the way back up above the 13 EMA. So UPS looks like it's ripe to start running, and it's gonna start heading towards our price target at 176. When and if UPS breaks above 176, the next price target on UPS is up here at $180. So that's it for tonight's episode of Hot Stocks. If you like these hot stocks and you want to come trade with the Stocks Channel Discord, there's a link in the description of the video below on how you can come trade with us. We're a trading community of discipline and profits, and we're absolutely killing it. So come trade with us. You won't regret it, and you will get a 3-day free trial if you're just looking to check it out to see if it's for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. I hope you're killing it in this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.